So in this video, I'm going to be talking about how to deal with toxic members in your family and in your friend circle. And why does a relationship become toxic? Why are they in your environment? And so that you can really focus on business and go after your dreams. And one of the biggest challenges, one of the biggest obstacles that you will face when you are wanting to be successful is friends and family. This is a very unfortunate thing, but this is something that you know already, you would have already faced it, or you may face it. So I'm going to address this, and this is part of building a solid foundation for success. So how to deal with families and friends who are toxic. So I was around 17 or 18 when I wrote down all the things that I want in life. And I had big goals. I wanted to make, millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars, and drive supercars and travel the world and be around beautiful women. Those are the things that I just wanted for myself. I wanted to quit smoking and drinking and drugs, and I wanted to have very different kind of people in my life than what I had. And I wanted that some of my friends also share that vision with me and join me for the adventure and really believe in that vision that not just I created for myself, but I wanted to encourage them to write their own visions and see if those visions align and we can do good things together. But I was too naive at that time to understand that they do not want those things. They do not believe that those things are even possible for themselves. And not only that, they don't even want you to go pursue those dreams. They didn't even want me to go pursue those dreams. So when I wrote down my goals, I would sit down with a group of people, with my brother and a couple of friends, having a drink. And I would really honestly share what's in my heart and what's in my mind, the things that I want to do, things like traveling the world, things like achieving fame, success, and, money and travel. And all of those people would laugh at me, including my brother. I'm really sorry to say this, but this is true. I love him, but that's just what happened. He would laugh at me. He would make fun of me. And, I had these little pictures that I would post on my wall, and he would sometimes he would participate, sometimes he would make fun of it. But one day he really came and he was angry at me, and he took down, I had a whole wall of my dreams, the whole wall was filled with pictures of things I wanted to do. And he came in and he just started to scratch those off the wall and started to say, this is all bullshit, you're delusional and none of this is going to happen. Look at yourself. And started to really push me down and started to really suppress my dreams. And it's very difficult to deal with someone like that who's living in the same house as you, and you being exposed to that kind of environment. And this happened in the evening time. I would go meet my friends, and some of, my friends would be neutral. They wouldn't say anything, but some of them really go out of the way to argue, to criticize, to demean and diminish the value of those visions. And those were my honest visions that I had. And ironically, now I have that life. Everything that I thought about 10 years ago, I have it today. Okay. Only those things didn't happen that I myself decided I don't want to pursue those set of goals. and I let them go. But the ones that I really wanted, all of them happened. So at that time, 10 years ago, when I had these visions, I experienced the whole environment trying to suppress, trying to control me. And this really affects your mind, and this really affects your psychology, and it affects your entire system. Your whole physical body and everything else. Your whole performance get affected if you're in the wrong environment. If the seed is planted in a toxic water, the plant is going to be toxic. Okay, the food that will grow in this land which is toxic will be toxic. So it's important where to put the seed, how to put the seed in the right place. So I started to look around, and I found an organization that helped me, where the whole environment was very different. People had a listening ear. And I cannot describe the value of someone who can listen to you without any judgment about anything, just listening to the idea that you have, just paying attention to you, just offering that encouragement to you. And I found this organization that I started to go quite often, which trained you in leadership, character building, how to accomplish your goals, and all of this. I was around 17 years old, and I started to visit this organization quite a bit. And I joined many other environments like this. And I saw that my mind started to become more and more clear. Even the colors that I saw around me started to become very bright. And I started to become a very happy person. Before you know it, I stopped smoking, I stopped drinking. And there were drugs involved in the environment that I was part of. So I was away from all of that. And, I used to really sleep when I was in that toxic environment. I used to really sleep, and in the night, I would have these dark thoughts in my mind. And I was like, where is this coming from? When I was a child, I didn't have any of this, and now it's just very dark. So all of that cloud of darkness was gone, and I just felt very, very clear in my mind. I stopped smoking, I stopped drinking, and then the life started to go in an upward spiral, and in a completely different direction. And 5 years later, I met my friends, and I saw, and my face was glowing, and I was shining bright, and things were going really well in my life. And they were, before they used to be able to drink a quarter bottle of alcohol, now they are able to drink a whole bottle. So things really went down for them, and things really went up for them, and I started to pursue all my dreams. So there is no such thing as, some people give advice that, okay, it's okay, let them talk, and just ignore what they say. It's okay, people will talk, just ignore what they say. And just don't let it affect you. That's another thing that they say. But the truth is, if something goes through your ears and through your eyes, it will affect you. There is no way that it's not going to affect you. I was driving recently. I was coming from Sharjah to Dubai, and I saw a billboard of a McDonald's burger. I saw that burger, and subconsciously, I got triggered, and I wanted to have a burger. And so it's really it goes beyond your control. When something goes through your eyes and ears, it's going to influence you. So the best thing to do in such situations is you have to come to terms with it. That for whatever reason, they're not good for you. For whatever reason, they don't believe in you, and you got to cut them off. And you got to cut them off clean and simple, very neat. No discussion, no argument, no convincing, nothing. Just cut them off. Just remove your ears and eyes from that situation. and your mind will become absolutely clear. To give you a perspective, I wanted to start a YouTube channel since 10 years and I wasn't able to do it. Why? Because I was given a negative feedback from my environment. So just think about it. What makes you stop when you have a thought, you have a vision, you have an inspiration, you want to do something, and suddenly you hold yourself back, and suddenly you suppress all of that inside, and suddenly you don't want to show that to anybody. You don't even allow it to come out fully. You deny it. You push it under the carpet. Your visions, your dreams, your goals, your aspirations. And eventually you get conditioned to not believe in them. And if you don't believe in them, you will not execute on them. And if you don't execute on them, you will never have what you want. So getting rid of toxic members in your friends and family who are not aligned with your vision, who are not aligned with your future, who are not even going to be in your future, is one of the most essential parts of being successful. And you're going to miss them because maybe you love them, but it's a harsh reality that you have to come to terms with. It's much better to be alone than to be with someone toxic, because you can always consume, books, amazing programs, that can help you get to the next level. And another big factor is time, because it's the time that you're going to use to create wealth. It's the time that you're going to use to fulfill your dreams and goals. And it's this mind that you're going to use to make your dreams happen. And if the mind is toxic and polluted, and your eyes and ears are really the windows of the mind. So if your windows are open to wrong environment, you're just taking all of this bad information, bad data, bad feedback, and you're polluting your mind. And the very way you see the world, the way you see yourself, will all be shaped by your environment. And, there are some environments where $10,000 is a lot of money. There are some environments where $10 million is also not a lot of money. So really how much money is too much money depends on which environment you are on. So the point that I'm really getting on is your perspective. Your perspective is shaped by the environment, and your performance is driven by your perceptions and your perspectives of who you think you are, how you see the world, what type of information you have, how much time you have, how much focus you have. All of those factors will affect success. So if you have, who they are in your family and friends. If you have toxic people in your life, eliminate. A whole company turns around. If you look at a public company, the whole company turns around when they fire toxic employees who don't work and just receive a salary. If the moment they remove them, suddenly the company flourishes and it changes the whole morale of the company. Because if they don't fire those employees, they will affect everybody. And the entire growth of the company will be affected. The same is true for individuals. You remove those toxic people, you will start to wake up in the morning, you will start to go for your exercise, and you will start to, get involved in business courses and start to really go towards your dreams. You cannot argue with them. You cannot ignore them. You cannot listen and ignore them. You just have to block and draw a boundary. And if they have to get in touch with you, they have to send you an agenda in advance of the call. My mentor, he tells me, make a list of all your goals and dreams, and then make a list of all the people you met from morning to night here. And what did these two have in common? And you will see how many people you meet in your day that are not even related to your goal. And you wonder why it has not happened. So those are the words of Dan Pena, my mentor. So follow this advice. And actually in our weekly reporting system, we had to write a report of what we did from morning to night. One of the things that we had to write was, who did you meet from morning to night and how did it relate to your goals? And if it didn't relate, then you're just fucking around. So that's the lesson on how to deal with family, toxic families and friends who don't believe in you, who don't believe in your dreams, and it drag you down. Cut them out. I'll talk to you soon.